Welcome ladies and gents to Lincoln Castle ahead of today's game as we look to lock down top of the league Lincoln City. But before we crack on with that game, we do of course have a few to catch up on. So without further ado, let's hop into Football Manager 22. The first game sees us head to Grimsby in the FA Cup, where a singular Shipley extra time header in the end became the decider. Next up, we then return to league action at home against 21st place Bradford, and again a single goal settled it as Pedder scored on the 7th minute. The last catch-up game then saw us play 8th place Notts County, but unlike the prior two games, this 1-0 win went our opponent's way, as we could not bounce back against 10 men in the final 6 minutes, despite a disallowed own goal equaliser. And so, after those catch-up games, we find ourselves in 16th place in the league, as we of course take on top of the league Lincoln here today. But before we get into that one, we do have a few bits of news to go over in the notification screen. This shouldn't take too long. I believe there's only 4 bits of news. First of all, team news. Well, Connolly, he picked up 2 yellow cards in that game, got himself sent off against Grimsby, ended up missing the Bradford game. Next up, we had a player concern. Now, that player concern is McLean. Now, if we have a little look, what he wanted was to go out on loan. So, I mentioned his importance as a backup because his role, of course, is a squad player. Then, he insisted that I loan him out still. I then threatened to sell him and then, well, he backed out. So, hopefully that don't keep cropping up. McLean, you're going to be out the door soon anyway. You're old, very old. I think you're 34 now, are you, McLean? Are you going to let me click you? Let's just go to the squad page then. McLean. There we go, 34 years of age. So he ain't going to be around for very long anyways. Maybe don't irritate me for the short period you are still here. Now, a little bit of bad news, we had some injuries over the past few weeks. Jenkinson picked up an injury, that's 3 to 5 weeks, the worst one of the two. A twisted ankle, that's going to keep him out till about the 13th to the 27th of December. On top of that, we had Paul Osu. Now, he picked up a 1 to 2 day knock and should I believe, be back for today's episode. But without further ado, let's head on into the dressing room and let's crack on with today's game against Lincoln. Okay everyone, so Usu is definitely going to be in this one. In fact, we have our full strength lineup besides for one player. That of course is Jenkinson. Jenkinson is being replaced by Carlin, who is arguably just as good, if not better, at right back. So our team for today is Oluwayemi in goal, the back line of Osu, Shipley, Connolly and Carlin. On the wings we have Lubala and Williams with Morgan, Allen and Pedder in between, with Campbell up front. A bench consisting of Alnwick, Wilson, Mason, Wright, Dyson, McLean and Norwood. If you have a little look over to the left hand side, we are going for a defensive mentality here today. That is going to be my approach for any of the top teams really in this league. We need to be strong at the back and just try and counter-attack on them and push forward when they are at their weakest. But without further ado, let's crack on with this one. Right, so it looks like Grant McCann is making a little bit of a change from their last match. As you can see on that left-hand side, 6 changes to the lineup. Again, I'm not going to read through them. That's a lot to go through. So, without further ado, let's crack on. Let's get into the dressing room. They have plenty of good players, which we need to deal with. So, let's crack on. I think we need to show everyone their recent praise is justified. Put on a real show out there. Yeah, a little bit of encouragement. Get the lads pumped up. And it's worked apart from Lubala, Osu and Connolly. And, well, the bench besides from Norwood as well. So, let's head on out. Lads are, of course, walking out. We're going to untick that. Let's crack on with today's game as we have the opening highlight. Now, the opening highlight, as we all know, doesn't usually amount to anything, and I don't expect it, as usual, to amount to anything here today. Speaking of things actually amounting to something, though, last episode, Chris the Butcher actually came and checked out the video. He also tweeted it out, so I appreciate the retweet on the Twitter, and I also appreciate you coming and checking out the video. You didn't have to do that, but it was very lovely of you to do so, and hopefully you stick around, enjoy some more of the content, and yeah, hope you have a lovely night. Anyways, Dobson going to play it back to Alessi. Alessi is going to hold possession here as he plays it over to Betachi. Now, some of their names are going to be a bit of a pain in my backside. Not the easiest of names to pronounce. Thankfully, Wills is a little bit easy at the back, but it's with Alessi. He's going to hold it. And it's now over to Dobson. Now, Dobson back to Alessi. Dobson, I've previously said this, but I'm going to repeat it. Always reminds me of rugby. Always reminds me of Hull KR. Always think of Michael Dobson. Anyway, Duhani will whip it in. Emerson, free header. Ooh, Oluwayemi. Lovely save. And now, we've got 85 minutes to hold on. Now, we're going to try and get a win. Hopefully. In this drizzly game here today, Oluwayemi throws it all the way up to Labala. That's route wanting it. He gets it back to Osu. Now ball inside to Labala. Labala's going to cut inside. Osu's continued his run on this left-hand side. He's going to play it into Campbell, though. He finds Williams. Williams has a spot behind him. Instead, he goes to Allen. Allen through ball to Pedder. Oh, great bit of football. Great passing. Confused the defence. Got plenty of space, and Pedder drills it into the upper corner. Unfortunately, the whistle has gone for an offside. Was it by a lot? No. We could have probably scored if Pedder just held his run an extra couple of seconds. Unfortunately, he did not. And we are still 0-0 here today at Lincoln. But Duhani is going to try and change that. Whips it in. Osu, lovely interception. Clears away only as far as Willis on the halfway line, though. Alessi in the centre circle. What can he get done? He plays over to this left-hand side. It's now inside to Betachi. Betachi's going to get it back to Dobson. Dobson back to Betachi. No, it's a ball through to Zach Emerson. Anyways, Shipley intercepts it. Gets it back to Oluwayemi. And it's cleared away only as far as Alessi, though. Alessi's going to play it back across to Willis now in the centre circle. He's found Dobson. Dobson back to Willis, and 10 minutes in, quite a bit of action thus far. It's now with Betachi. Betachi going to go all the way back to Alessi. It's with Willis, and both teams seem to be going for a possession-based game here today, as Duhani on the right-hand side is going to try a ball over the top to Zach Emerson. Don't know why that was so much of a tongue twister for me to say, but apparently it was. So it's going to be a corner here. Who is going to step up and take it? That is the question. Show Depot will be the one to take it, as Shipley nods it away, but only as far as Sorensen. Sorensen over to Show Depot. Feels a little weird saying Sorensen in central midfield, I believe he's playing. So, yeah, I always thought of him as a goalkeeper, to be honest. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm just showing my age, thinking of Sorensen as a goalkeeper. Morgan plays it out to Osu. Osu holding up in the corner, plays it back to Morgan. Morgan now plays it all the way back, and I'm trying to get the keyboard off of my wire. Shipley, though, he's going to hold possession nicely on this left-hand side. Inside to Morgan. Nice ball through to Pedder. Pedder now across to Labala. Ball through to Campbell. Come on, Campbell. Yes, what a finish. Great bit of build-up play. This time, we are onside, and this time, ladies and gents, we have taken the lead 15 minutes in. We could have, of course, taken it about 10 minutes in if Pedder held that run, but it doesn't matter anymore, as Pedder has a lovely pass across to Labala. He finds Campbell, and he finds the back of the net here on the 15th minute. Whew, not a bad little start, considering we are versing top of the league. Moved up to 12th, by the way, and we are tying with 10th. Yeah, we are at the opposite end of the table as where I was expecting us to be. Thought we'd be in a relegation scrap. The way we started the season looked like a relegation scrap, but right now, we're pushing towards those playoffs, and Pedder's looking for a second. Almost a second as we climb up the table. Now, the game's finally called up and decided we are, in fact, up to 12th. Notts County, by the way, has just gone 1-0 up against Stevenage at Meadow Lane. And the game is suggesting that we tell Mark Connolly to mark Zach Emerson. Now, Show Depot. Show Depot is going to be dispossessed by Connolly. Good bit of defence there. Plays it up to Campbell. Campbell doesn't win the header, though. Willis does, and it's down to Pedder, who intercepts it. Plays it now over to Carlin. Carlin over to Williams. Williams, maybe a ball down the wing. No, he's going to go inside to Pedder. Campbell, you should have continued to run. Instead, though, a bad pass from Pedder back to Williams is intercepted. It's now with Dobson. Betachi. Betachi gets one over the top to Zach Emerson. Zach Emerson has broken through our line. And Oluwayemi should have been forced to make a good save. Thankfully, did not, as the effort goes sailing miles away. Absolute awful finishing there from Zach Emerson. Now Lubala, free kick. Lubala. Don't think we've seen Lubala score one yet, which is a shame because he's pretty darn decent. At least in these main games of the episode. Rochdale, by the way, 1-0 up against Bradford. They are, of course, struggling down near the bottom end of the table. But apparently a harsh decision has led to this free kick. Hopefully it doesn't lead to a goal as well. Led to a good save, that is for sure. Good job, Olawayemi. Newport County, by the way, 1-0 up against Grimsby. Grimsby, I believe, are now in the relegation zone. And Stevenage has pulled one back against Notts County. It's 1-1 in that one. As Rochdale has also taken the lead against Bradford 1-0. Exeter is 4-0 up against Barrow. So Exeter is having quite the fun time. And Olawayemi is going to play it out to Osu now. Short to Shipley. Trying to build from the back, of course. Nice 1-2 between him and Osu. Connolly, sorry. Don't know why I would say Connolly. But Connolly plays it back to the goalkeeper. Unfortunately intercepted. And Zach Emerson almost took advantage of our poor passing back there. Thankfully, though, it goes wide of the goal, and we have 1 minute plus 1 minute of additional time in this first half. Conley, though, playing it all the way back to Olawayemi. He finds Shipley, now back to Olawayemi. Hoofs it over to Osu. Osu, can he get a nice run down here? He has. He's got past his man, and he might be... Oh, he's getting caught up. Plays it back to Morgan. Morgan now inside to Allen. Allen, ball over the top. Great run by Osu. He's continued it. Maybe he's going to go himself. He shouldn't. Osu, you should have whipped one across, mate. Whip it across. You're a left back. I know you're confident. I know you made a great run. But please, whip a ball in to someone who can finish a little bit better. Campbell, or even Williams coming in off the opposite wing. Pedder, though. Oh! Pedder. Pedder. That was spicy. That was a spicy attempt. Fortunately, didn't amount to anything, but as you can see, Lincoln narrowly ahead on total shots, but we're 3 apiece on targets, and we have actually got the better XG with a 1.22 to their 0.64. They have had 3 corners, and we've had none, and they've given away 7 fouls to our 3. Now, 90% passing to 89, so pretty even on that, and possession is narrowly in their favour, 58% to our 42. As you can see, well, we started off rather strong. They managed to catch up. And that... Oh, no, sorry. They started reasonably strong. We have dominated ever since. So, let's crack on with this one. We're ahead on the scoreboard, and we certainly deserve to be given how much we've created. I'm pleased. Pedder with a 6-6. I'm not so pleased with. Osu on a 6-6 also. But, you know what? They've been playing better than those 6-6s suggest. Pedder had a goal disallowed. Osu, we've seen the runs he's been making today. Can't be too mad at any of them. You've all been amazing. Keep it going, lads. We are going to take players off not by how they are playing, but how they are fitness-wise. By looks of this one. Although Williams has dropped to a 6.4. Didn't see that one. So, maybe Dyson coming in on that wing to hoover up over on the right hand side. Lubala, though, whips one across face a goal. Oh, Williams, that was your opportunity there to pick things up and keep yourself in the lineup for the rest of the game. Unfortunately for you, you did not. And Doncaster's drawing 1-1 at home to Swindon. Rochdale, by the way, just scored a second one against Bradford. And we have just avoided conceding as Dobson's header goes sailing over the goal. Carlisle, by the way, 1-0 down to Sutton at home. Osu also throws it into Shipley. Ball up to Campbell, unfortunately intercepted. Batachi now over to Show Depot. Show Depot back to Batachi. Batachi to Sorensen. Sorensen gonna turn, plays it to Ford. Ford now over to Duhani. Duhani needs to be closed down. Come on, Osu, get over there. And say it's a ball across Sorensen. He whips one across. And Show Depot looked like he dived, to be honest. If Connolly pushed him, I don't know why he went in that direction. Just saying. It looked like he should have probably fallen in the opposite direction if he was pushed. But it's a penalty. Dobson and Lincoln, ladies and gents, have themselves an equaliser. George Dobson, 4th goal of the season. Disappointing way to concede the equaliser here on the 53rd minute. Bit of a soft one there, but Donasian is going to throw it in to Ford. Donasian is going to get it back over to Dobson though. Now to Batachi. Batachi over to Sorensen. Sorensen's found a bit of space. He's going to play it over to Dahani. Dahani, great first time ball in. Thankfully cleared away as Williams nods it out. Batachi will collect it though. Batachi back over to Emerson. Back to Batachi once more from range. Batachi. Ooh, thankfully Oluwayemi grasps that one. Doesn't bumble it on his save, and that danger was averted. Unfortunately, though, they seem to have another highlight here just before our usual substitution time. Ball through to Dahani. In fact, I was thinking of subbing off Williams with his 6-3 right now. So we're going to do it a little early. We're going to get him off. He's struggling. I don't like to do it. I like to really hold on to our usual substitution time. Yes, it is an extra 2 or 3 minutes, but this is an extra 2 or 3 minutes. Dyson might be able to get something going. So we're going to get him on nice and early. Pedder's on a 6-5. Who else is struggling? The game has decided it's going to make me work on players who are now struggling, apparently telling them, you're doing a great job, lads. Well, it's meant they've all dropped off, stopped working in this second half. So now we need to bring some players on. Pedder. I think we're going to go more defensive. I know it's counterproductive, but I think we do it. I think we go Morgan. How are you getting on? Morgan's playing okay. And we've got Alan playing okay. So the question is, Wright or Wilson? In defensive mid, I'm not sure which one's better. I've not statistically compared the two. So, right, you can go there. I think he's less... Sorry, Wilson's less likely to be irritable about not playing. And if I have to force one to be on, I'm going to force Wright on. Because he is technically classed as a star player and not starting. So, we need to give him the opportunity to come on and play some minutes. Oluwayemi though, keeping his level here on the 63rd. As perhaps I might even make a third and final substitute, get a little risky. Shipley's on a 6-4, which would suggest bringing Wilson on might be a good idea. Labala though whips it in. Wright can't get onto the end of it as Shipley collects this one. How is Shipley's pass going to lock? It looked pretty decent there. Campbell from... Oh, Campbell, what is that? Tavon Campbell, you beautiful, beautiful human being. That was a filthy goal. Let's have another look at this one. Wasn't expecting that. Really wasn't expecting that. It comes out, Shipley collects it, plays it over to Campbell. I thought he might go to the wing, whip one across. No, he takes it on his right foot, smashes it into that top corner. Trayvon, that was something else. That really was something else. Shipley, he's up to a 6-8 now. What are these ratings doing right now? Osu on a 6-5. Probably should take him off though. Kirby whips one in. Please do not score now. Please. I'm begging you. Game. Have mercy on me, Miles. Please, Miles. Have mercy. May the FM be with me right now. This would be such a big win. Labala plays it back to Osu. Inside to Morgan now. Morgan, crossfield ball. Dyson can't get onto it. Carlin will collect it though on this right-hand side. He's got spot behind him if he wishes to use it. Oh, he's got past his man. He's whipped it in. Labala. Come on, let's just get a third one. Osu beats Dixon to the ball. He's coming down this left-hand side now. He's got support behind him. Play it back to Morgan perhaps. No. Instead, it's nodded away. Kirby now gets it out to Emerson. Emerson trying to get a counter-attack going on this right-hand side for Lincoln. It's back to Kirby now. Back to Dahani. Dahani up to Dixon. Dixon, someone get a tackle in, please. Don't let them hold possession like this. Emerson back to Dobson now. Over to Kirby. Kirby's got an overlap. And Dahani, is anyone going to find Dahani? No, it's a ball straight over the top to Emerson. And Oluwayemi saves it. But doesn't matter anyway. He was offside. As we head into the final 15 minutes of today's game. And I'm going to have a little look at who's tired. Alan's tired, Morgan's tired, Labala. So, you know what we're going to do? we are going to move right up for, do we go Morgan or Allen? They're both tired, so I guess we go for the one which positionally makes the most sense, which is moving him to ball winning midfielder, which means Wilson comes on at defensive mid, and that is our third and final substitute, as we pray we don't get any injuries or sending offs. Sutton still 1-0 up against Carlisle, by the way. I think there was about 3 injuries in that, unless one of them was a red card, but ball into the back post, thankfully for them, it's nodded away. Dyson will collect it though. He's going to run back at Lincoln. That was an interesting challenge. Came diving in from behind, but apparently hooked the ball and got it back to their defender. It's a run down this left-hand side now, played inside to Batachi. Batachi's broke our defence, thankfully. His shot's gone wide, thankfully. So, how many additional minutes are we going to get in this one, folks? I'm going... Okay, I was going to say 3. So 4, pretty close. Pretty darn close. I'm not going to pretend I was going to say 4. I was probably going to say 3. I had 3 on the edge of my tongue. So, yeah. Really wish it wasn't 4. Really wish it wasn't. I wish it was a minute. Give us a minute of additional time. Let us just burn the clock down for the next 2. Instead, we've got to hold on for now 4.5 minutes. 5, I believe, when the highlight started. So Osu coming down this left hand side, ball over the top. Campbell can't get onto it straight away, but it's come through to him eventually, and Campbell, Tavon Campbell, gets his 7th goal of the season, not of the game. Jesus, that would be amazing. But his 6th, and now his 7th goal of the season. Trayvon, mwah. Absolutely beautiful performance here today. Had an 8.1 going into this goal. Breaks their defence, passes it around the goalkeeper, who should have probably done a little bit better. He probably shouldn't have run out to his spot like that and then just half-dived. But we'll take it. Labala, ball in. Patachi nods it away, but Dyson will collect it here on the right-hand side. Now what's Dyson going to do with this? As he's hoovered up possession of this ball, he's going to... Okay, that was an interesting approach, Dyson. Very interesting. Thankfully it does not matter, as today's game has ended. And Campbell, ladies and gents, he's got himself a hat-trick. Assists for Labala, Shipley and Osu, but all 3 goals in the end went to Campbell. He was trailed behind Labala with a 7.2 rating and Osu with a 7. Dyson did only get a 6-4. Williams, 6-3, really need a little bit better from him. But of course, he's got a bit of a fitness issue, considering he is just coming back from injury. But that was a solid game. I'm going to tell the lads what an amazing job they did. But the next one, we are, of course, going to head away to Walsall. And I thank you all for joining us. I hope you all have a lovely night, and goodbye.